winning the men's canoe title. Now, Amy Fox is part of the 7 News family here. I would love to see her alongside Jess. It would be awesome.
Great, a family package deal.
Yes.
All right, thanks for that, Matt. Well, workers may soon be able to tell their bosses to stop calling them after hours, with a new bill set to be debated in Parliament next week. Joining us now is human resource expert Jonathon Woolfrey. Afternoon to you, Jonathan. This is a very interesting concept. How would this bill impact workplaces and its employees?
The simple answer at the moment is we're not exactly sure. It's been held very confidentially, this bill, and no one, employers or employees alike, have seen the detail. But we can guess. It's looking at putting a unilateral solution across a very broad and diverse workforce, and it's very important for the government to get that right if they do need to go ahead with it.
I mean, the term has been coined availability creep, that expectation for workers to sort of be available at all times. We have seen an expectation on workers rise over recent years, particularly with the advent of smartphones, haven't we?
Absolutely. Like the combination of technological advancement and the breakdown of the traditional in-person office has convalesced to definitely make us much more accessible and much more available to employers. And we probably haven't put any balance or safeguards in place in employers about those kind of issues. So, yeah, it has increased. Yeah,
research has shown it's actually made employees less motivated and more prone to becoming sick. Now, this right to disconnect has been in workplaces in countries like France and Germany, and even here in Australia, the Victorian Police Force had that right instated a couple of years ago. So too a similar one for Queensland teachers. But do you think this needs to be rolled out for all workplace enterprise agreements right across Australia?
My observation in countries where it has rolled out, it's raised the awareness, but there's no evidence that it's actually solved the problem. And I think we mostly agree that the problem is there and in certain industries and workforces. Victoria Police and other industries are great examples where a one-size-fits-all approach isn't needed. Some industries, some workforces do need a solution, and they're working ahead and forging ahead to do that. So I think enterprise agreements on an individual basis are a great place for employers and employees to figure out what works for them.
OK, and if we did see this go ahead, what does that mean for casual or freelance workers? Would they also get that right to disconnect?
They'd have to be considered, and as I mentioned earlier, we don't have those details, but I think they're a great example of how we have to be careful because it is a diverse workforce. While some feel hyper-connected, others feel quite disconnected as it is from their workplace, particularly casual workers, part-time workers, and that includes mothers, those out of the workforce for a while and things like that. So they actually want to connect more. So I think we have to be careful, and the legislation needs to anticipate all those circumstances, otherwise we might find ourselves in a bit of trouble.
And would this include not just phone calls but messaging and emails as well? Is that what the right to disconnect is?
Absolutely. It's likely to include all those things that have actually crept into our personal lives to try and bring some regulation into that. So, yeah, it is very likely it includes a lot of things like that.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, Jonathan, thanks so much for your time and your insights this afternoon. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
This afternoon's top story.